Mr. Knoblauch, you call this a stolen win?
No.
Really?
Can you repeat that?
Really? No, I thought they weren't bad. Seattle.
No. No, they put on it was a good game. They pushed, especially late in the game. They they had their opportunities and didn't let up. Picks made some huge saves at the end to keep us into it, especially in the, for us to take the lead in the second period. He made a couple big saves, and then we go down there and score shortly after that. So, I think tonight I think we just played well enough to win.
Kris, another big night for your penalty kill, which since the first month of the season has been very strong. I'm not trying to downplay the impact of coaching, but can you comment on the ownership that the penalty killers take and the pride they take in doing that job?
The players that we've been using has been pretty consistent. Pretty much 6 forwards, 4 defensemen. If somebody's in the penalty box, somebody else is being used. But a lot of those guys take a lot of pride in it. And there's a couple of games ago where we gave up 2 goals in the first period, and guys are a little upset and want to fix it. And I think Mark does a heck of a job correcting guys, telling them what they need to do, and not overcomplicating it, but just making sure the details are really sharp. And the players, I know, have a lot of respect for Mark and the way he teaches it, and his knowledge on on what we're supposed to do, but also what the opposition is doing. And we also think we've got some pretty good penalty killers that's kind of their role, and something that they've always been good at and taking pride in.
Kris, 22-6-1 in your team's last 29 3-game win streak. What components of tonight's victory have we seen over the course during that extended period of time that's allowed you guys to sustain that success?
Well, during that time, if you look at special teams, how good our special teams are, and then the other one is the goaltending. Our goaltending has been really solid throughout that stretch. Both of them have been really good for us. And, you get goaltending and special teams. That's a big part of it. But then also your best players, McDavid and Leon, putting up the numbers that they have consistently. Those 3 things, you're going to win a lot of hockey games.
Tell me about Cory Perry. He's a veteran guy, brings lots of stuff, but he's producing. Sometimes there's old guys on teams that are there, but they don't produce like he's producing. What's the difference having a guy his age that's putting the puck in the net?
Obviously when you guys get older, their production goes down. He's a very smart hockey player, and I'm not saying other older players aren't smart, but he's been able to adjust. But also his style of game is, it's not, doesn't rely on speed, where other players are expecting to, skate the puck in, entries, that part of it. He is pretty much, his game has always been centered around just being really smart, and obviously his skills, his hands around the net are other attributes that he has, but he's been able to just continue playing his game. And for points per 60, he's very high around the NHL. I know he's very high on our team, and in the offensive zone, he's very dangerous, whether just going to the net, providing a screen, but also being able to dig out pucks and making the next play, getting it to a teammate.
What are the things that we wouldn't know? Like, what does he add?
I don't think there's anything you don't know.
What are the things he adds? What are the things he brings that maybe we wouldn't hear where what on the bench, and maybe the things he adds as a veteran? What
his leadership. That's definitely one thing. When the team is kind of going off the rails about how we're supposed to play, and if we're taking shortcuts, the coach can call guys out, but here's a veteran who's played many hockey games and many big games, and he calls out players. That's very powerful, and that's something that he will do, and a little bit of an extension of the coaching staff he is. But, I think, another thing is it's a very underrated skill, And it's something that happens a lot in the game. You know, you can talk about players one time or toe dragging, but you think about how often that happens in a game. But, you know, something that happens very regularly is breaking the puck out. You know, puck comes to you on the half wall, you're getting pressure, whether that's a forward on you or a defenseman usually pinching on you, being able to make that next play. It's something that happens regularly in a hockey game, and some players handle that pressure and are able to make that play. Others can't. That's something that Cory's good at. He's able to get the play out of our zone so we can get it into the offensive zone, and obviously everybody wants to play there. So that's one of the things.
You had a U of A goaltender, once in a lifetime opportunity for him. Did you give him any extra advice, a tap on the pads before going out there?
No, goaltending is not my area to give advice to.
Was there any thoughts about put him in that last 30 seconds? You guys had that 2-goal lead.
No, there wasn't. No, Pix was well rested. He was good to finish the game.
If you do need any assistance with the goaltending, I got about 40,000 people between 4 to 6 every day that'll. Just about Darnell Nurse. You went through a tough patch last year in the playoffs, specifically against Vancouver, early against Dallas. We all know he was playing hurt and playing through something, but just how he's sort of gone from transporting to transitioning the puck and letting the puck do the work, and maybe how that's helped grow and develop his game a little bit.
Well, a lot of his success is being able to defend. He's quick, he's strong, he covers a lot of ice, so that's part of it. But really what he's been doing really well, certainly this year, is being able to transport the puck. One, in the defensive zone, having pressure, he's strong, he can shield guys off of it, so it gives him a little extra time than maybe a smaller defenseman has because of his size and physical attributes. But then making plays like tonight, getting his head up and finding Cory Perry, you know, he's made that a similar play like that many times this year. So I think that's a lot of just having the confidence with the puck.
One last one on Cory. You played him every game but one this year. Do you monitor a guy that age, or does he tell you, I'm a little tired right now, because he's played 49 of 50 games and he's coming up 40?
Yeah, no, I don't think Cory's ever wanting to come out of the lineup. Just with a guy, it'd be maybe a little bit different if he's playing 16, 22 minutes heavy, but, you know, typically every night he's about 10, maybe 14 minutes, and, you know, we don't have many back-to-backs, so I don't think there's an issue of him wearing down.
Thank you.
Did you see that made you want to challenge that first goal?
We look at challenge goals all the time. You know, there's one tonight that got disallowed, very similar, where the player goes in on his own. There is some contact with the defenseman. He does go in there on his own, and it was upheld, no goal. There's about 3 in December, 2 involving Buffalo. Very similar. Player goes in on his own. There is some contact with the defenseman. And tonight, Kulak makes most of the contact with our goalie, but there was initial contact with their player on his own that hits our goalie. And yeah, looking around the precedent, around the NHL about disallowed goals, I felt that was right in line of what they disallowed.